Howdy, Invader Kendall, back again. We're getting close, and I actually have some folks who might be interested in it, so I'm really kind of pushing this thing forward. We're going to get this train rolling. So what I'm looking at today is, I'm actually going to start looking at the cutting and shaping of the case to accept my final design. And as with any good experimental construction project, we're going to start with a mock-up. So I've got a box that's pretty close to the same size. It's a little bigger in a couple of dimensions, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. So let me give myself some marks on it, just so I know what my actual limitations are. I'm just going to run some lines. Okay, I'm going to mark up the box there. Let's see. It's just going to kind of tell me basically what the actual size is. The rest of the dimensions are really close, so we're going to take it from there. I'm actually going to use the existing side panels as they are to kind of mark screw hole locations so I know where I want to stay within. So I'd like to keep these screws. Hope the case be as strong as possible once it's done, because I did take out pretty much everything on the inside that gives it any support. So if I can maintain as much strength and stability as possible without having to add anything, that would be great. Especially with the idea that this thing's going to be tugged in and out of trucks and trunks, and maybe loaded with other musical equipment, get banged around a bit. So yeah. Mixer, make sure it's in a relative spot where I want it to be. Kind of get some marks going there. And I wish I could find my small Sharpie, but no, I just got the giant dude right now. And that is cutting pretty close. Okay. I'm gonna start jack-o'-lanterning this thing up. Just got myself a little cheap kitchen knife. Let's go. Okay, I'm back after a short little interruption. I actually got my camera got a phone call. I know, pretty magical how technology works these days, huh? Yes, just a reminder, my camera is my phone. Pretty much what I was thinking there. Attached there-ish. The question is whether or not that's going to be too tough to get in here and get your knobs, but it doesn't look like it. Still be decent and compact. Now, of course, there's the idea of, trying to cut this out more. But like I said, strength is going to be really important here. So I want to leave as much metal as I can and not have to worry about, bolstering things later. I think kind of that is where I'm going with it. Monitor coming up. them down like that. Yeah, that's going to give me space. Now I had this crazy idea that I was going to run all of the power that I needed for everything off of the computer's main power supply. And boy, I've done my research. I'm not an electrical engineer by any means. I get some of the basics that keeps me from, blowing things up, but after talking to an actual electrical engineer friend of mine, I definitely am leaning towards the idea that the power supply is not going to be running any of the peripheral equipment. Just the amps and voltages and everything like that don't match up. So the voltage and amps that this thing wants are really nowhere available on the power supply. The monitor runs on 12 volts, but it only takes 1.5 amps, and the power supply puts out 5 to 6 amps on its 12 volt rail, and I just don't want to blow anything out. So the idea I think of going with for now is I'm going to have a small power strip, just like a 3-plug power strip, and with the space that I've made for myself in the inside here, again, it's not going to be a problem to have a small power strip that just powers everything on the inside. As far as tucking these up, I'll see if I can get away with keeping them in place, but making these shorter is no problem. Making them different voltages and amperages, that's a big problem. Yeah, and then just the idea of this being as open as it's going to be. Right size, of course, but yeah, you're going to have real good access. That's mostly what I was worried about with this mock-up, is just seeing what kind of angle I'm looking at as far as what tilt I'm going to have on it, and whether or not the sides were going to be prohibitive as far as getting your hands in here. So it's looking like it's going to be right about there. And I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to get so close to the sides that you weren't going to be able to access your sliders and knobs, but honestly that doesn't look like a problem at all. So, okay, I'm real happy with that. And with the idea that I don't have to do any kind of electrical engineering, it's definitely feeling like the case is really all that's needed going to be destroyed, mangled. Yeah. Even the way the monitor is, this whole stand comes right off the back, and all your controllers are right in there. So I'm thinking some hardware store visits are what need to happen next, so I can get an idea for how these are going to mount. If I'm going to be drilling into this for brackets, or if I can figure something out for just pinching it or something like that. I know there's some headroom, not a lot of headroom over here. I've taken apart enough LCDs in my day, I know pretty much exactly where the border of this LCD is without even having to look. But it's going to be the same for the keyboard. The keyboard's actually got a little more room, or not. Yeah. But either way, I know this thing's going to be strong enough. What I'm thinking now, without having to actually go to the store, is just some kind of pinching brackets that are going to go on the side, and then those will be what I create the hinges and swivel points out of. So I guess for now, since I don't have to do any electrical engineering on the damn thing, hardware store visits next. Alright, just got back from the hardware store. Got a bunch of stuff. Yeah, it's hardware-y stuff, but that's what I'll have to do. That's what I can afford. So I got hinges and hinges and drawer supports and some screws and a little power distributor dropper. I think as far as my brain can figure out, that's what I need for now. I'll probably need more stuff, but we'll see about tearing into these things, and I'll probably just open them off camera because I'll need my hands for that. Yeah, alright. Okay, it's all out of this package. Yeah. The hinges. Don't know that I needed them all. I mean, I intend for these little ones to be for the keyboard. And there will be some bending manipulation that'll need to happen there, maybe some standoffs from the case. And my brain told me that I might need to get a combination of the hinges and the little side friction things. It being a monitor, I do need some kind of friction because, well, just like you would on a laptop, it needs to have something to hold the screen in place. Maybe 2 contact points will actually do it. Who knows? We're going to see. I'm going to fiddle with this stuff. It does say friction lid support, so they might have enough tension in them. Like, I wasn't expecting these little parts here to actually be as stiff as they are, but I still don't think that's going to hold up the monitor, which, you know, is very small and light and compact, but it's still going to be heavy at those kind of leverages. So I'm just going to fiddle with this stuff for a while and see what it looks like. Should make for some fantastically boring footage, but I told you guys I was going to do everything on this setup on camera, so... Oh, and that's my portable battery with a friend's band sticker on it, so ignore that thing right there. I have to keep my camera / phone plugged in so it doesn't lose power while I'm recording. Okay, get back with you in a second. Okay, so it looks like I'd be able to actually just play with the back. The rest of the front could probably be left alone, and then I can pop it back together. Yeah, one of the advantages of modern technology being most of the stuff just snaps. There's 2 retainer screws at the bottom, but the rest of it just pops out of place. As long as you're careful with it, you can get it out intact. So, alright. Excellent, excellent. Now I can just do all my manipulation here without having to worry about risking my electronics. So I wanted to make sure that my the screws that I got are going to be able to pass through and not interfere with the screen. But yeah, it looks like there's standoffs. There's just one over here with a rubber pad on it, and there's one here. So yeah, they're actually spaced out enough, and that's where the LCD backing goes. So that's more than enough room for the heads of my screws. It's definitely taller. If I can get you to see that. So yeah, the standoffs are taller, which means the screws won't interfere with the screen at all. Fantastic, love. That's good. And so things are starting to come together in my mind. I like it. And I think these will be on here on the side, just like an old school George jewelry cabinet or something. And I'm going to flip these little resistors around, and those have tension on them, so all I have to do is tighten down the screws because they are friction. Remember, friction. So there's some resistance there. Not much here, but they were also different products. So if I just tighten that down, you can adjust. You can make that not move very much at all. So it's all up to you how you want to adjust it. I've also thought about just replacing these screws with wing nuts. So that'd be no problem getting an actual bolt with a twisty knob at the end of it. It's that same threading. Should be no problem at all if I need to. So, alright. Now I get to put this back together. I could even pop this little tab up right there. So this little tab is what prevents it from swiveling. And I could just bend that out and cut it off. No problem. I may end up doing that. We'll see. We'll see how this thing speaks to me as I put it together. I just said we'll see 3 times in like 15 seconds. I rule. I think that reflects my feelings on how this has been going so far. I feel like this has been a journey with you guys. Let's look at the keyboard. So it's probably going to be as simple as probably flip it around. Have these up against the case. Flip down. So let's see. So flip it up against the case right there. Oh, so it's going to go on this side. Oh, I see. And with the keys being up so close to the top, I don't think I can hide this inside. There's the reaction pad. It's going to be right underneath. There is a recess though. I can check into that. Maybe I can cut like a slot right here that this will fit into. Well, let's just look at it. I got the LCD open. Why wouldn't I open the keyboard? Let's do that. back from a very severe phone crash. I even lost the footage of me finishing popping this open. So it looks like I'm not really going to be able to hide these like inside all that well, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. I'll just make some kind of like standoff little 1/4-inch pad to go in between there, and I'm probably going to have to do the same for the big hinges on the monitor, because what's going to happen is they're going to be up here about there, and then you'll be able to slide it about an inch. Yeah, so, and luckily that's not going to be for strength, it's just for holding in position. It'll have 2 of them, and this will be what's pretty much providing the strength. It'll have 4 points of contact, so it'll be strong. It'll be strong. It'll handle it. I know it will. I didn't know about these when I first grabbed them, but it's looking like these are going to work out great. I like those, and of course, I'll paint it all black so it all matches. So, yeah, the keyboard, nice and strong. Now that I've got it open, I'm really impressed with the construction quality on it, so no problems there. And so it looks like that, yeah, I didn't need to open that for too much, just to see if it was possible to stick these up inside, but this is just too tall. I would have to go under that, and that's where the keys are, so nah. I am gonna have to work out some kind of different screw situation, because these aren't gonna be okay for how thick they are and all that, but I've got my bag of screws, have you seen? So, alright. Okay, that's it. I think for now I'm just going to put all this stuff roughly back together. I'm going to leave the screen apart so I can work on it, but the keyboard can go back together. Just needed to see what the possibilities were, and yeah, I think the next video is going to be looking at layout for where the hinges are going to go on the case, and what I'm going to have to do for altering these for mounting. Like I said, I might have to take off those tabs. Yeah, I guess we'll figure that out later. All right, thanks.